so sorry. That is outrageous behaviour. I've done
It's
14 episodes, and this is the level of professionalism that I present you with. Disgusting. Disgusting. Sam, thank you for hopping on the show.
It's fine, no problem.
I love it. There are many things that I, as a fan, appreciate that you do, Sam. And one of those is that. And the second is the Indeed. I feel like I need that on a T-shirt. So if you're ever scratching around for merch ideas, just a T-shirt that says Indeed on it would be excellent.
No worries. Yeah, it could do that. Who knows? That's not a bad joke, to be fair.
So I'm a big fan of your content, and of course there are a bunch of questions that I'd love to ask you that hopefully you haven't been asked before, from one Sam to another. Are you ready for the opening question?
Yeah, I'm ready for the opening question.
If you could swap out any current ride for one from the past, what are you removing and what are you bringing back, and from where to where?
I personally would remove Gruffalo, not have the contract for the IP, and then bring up Bubbleworks and have the original theming added to the attraction, and then maybe add some new theming as well, and keep the smells. That way it brings people back into the theme park, especially if that's necessary.
I think that's a fantastic answer. I really agree with you. The Bubbleworks is iconic, and although the Gruffalo has served its purpose, I think we are probably due for. I'd like to see a retro reboot. You know, as you say, old with a bit of new.
Yeah, exactly. I would a new generation to Bubbleworks maybe, but keep the smells. That was one of the most important parts about Bubbleworks.
They need to sell it in a candle and as a car air freshener. I'd have it as just, a scratch and sniff that I can periodically just have a huff when I need the Bubbleworks, to hand.
Yeah, exactly. That's what parks like Efteling do. You get those sort of smells is what I think Merlin should start doing. People would actually buy them.
Yeah, poofs of smell rather than poofs of smoke. On to the main questions. What's a ride that completely caught you off guard?
Oh, that's a very good question. Probably Ride to Happiness. When I first rode it, when we got to the top part, I thought, okay, this ain't too bad. Then the air turn just came out of nowhere and it just completely caught me off guard. And then the whole experience came with the intensity, the music, the inversions, and overall full package. It was brilliant, honestly. A very good attraction.
I'm yet to ride it, but it's certainly something that's probably top of my priority list for this year. And I've seen some of the footage posted, I think, from ride comparisons where you feature a guest appearance in some of the POVs, and it looks like you're having a fantastic time.
Yeah, it was a fantastic time indeed. A very good experience.
What is something small that a park has done to make your whole day better?
Probably something whereas let's say Dragon's Fury's gone down, having simple things like fast tracks or just letting us know on the app when a ride's gone down, these simple things can just help people generally with their day. Like, for example, some rides can be quite unreliable, and with Dragon's Fury, they just give you that fast track that's necessary. It just helps boost your day back up, especially when the ride can reopen and it can go on the attraction and it doesn't waste your time.
I couldn't agree more. I think handing out fast tracks for instances of poor ride availability or when a ride goes down should be almost like an industry standard. It's when I was in Phantasialand, I queued up 40 minutes or something for Black Mamba, literally got on, pushed the restraints down, and then they went straight back up, and they were like, sorry, ride's gone down. But we all got 3 fast tracks. Fantastic. I don't think you can really argue with that, and it completely, as you say, revives the morale of the day.
Yeah, exactly. I say if a queue is about 40 to 50 minutes or longer and you've been waiting, I think fast tracks should be given to you in a theme park, especially if you're a member of a general public, go maybe once every year or every 2 years.
Could you imagine trying to implement that in a Merlin park when you can't use the fast tracks over 90 minutes?
Yeah, I can see what you mean. 90 minutes, to be fair. I hope Merlin change up. Then I can see, you look at something like Fright Nights. I was there last year. Hyperia got to 240 minutes and the fast track queue was going outside the entrance. It was just going really badly. If you had the platinum pass holders to that, to be fair, it would make it probably an extra maybe 10, 20, 30 minutes on to that main queue as well.
It's a problem that they certainly need to be dealing with. What's a moment in a park that felt way more special than it should have?
Um, Going to Efteling for the first time. Now, I've heard when I went to Efteling that it wasn't thrills. I thought, oh, because I'm a thrill seeker, I'm not going to be a fan. But no, I stepped in and the immersion, the smells, the food, and it just surprised me for a family park. The way it just stand out, it sort of gives you that Disney sort of universal level immersion theming and over the grand, fantastic experience. A really enjoyable theme park.
I think that's a wonderful answer. Again, I've not visited Efteling this year, and certainly I got the Blackpool annual pass, so I certainly will be trying to hit it up this year. I'm actually most looking forward to the pirate ship, believe it or not.
Yeah, the pirate ship's good old fun, to be fair. It is a race to get the outside seats on it, though, that's for sure. It's popular.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic. A race indeed. What's a ride you didn't expect to love but ended up re-riding loads?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably Baron, to be fair. I thought Baron would have been your average dive coaster, but no, it's got a really good sort of pre-show. It's nice and immersive. And I thought it's got a good layout. No, it's not the longest ride, but it's really relaxable. We had ETA with ride comparisons. We started off with a Zen ride, and then we had 9 rides staying on the train, which was a very good experience without getting from the station.
Wow. 9 rides back to back.
Yeah, and then we had a Zen ride at the top of that, so 10 in total.
Doesn't really get much better than that, does it? The magic
No,
number
it
10 Zen
doesn't.
ride. What is something that instantly takes you out of the experience when you notice it?
A bad way.
Yeah, so I think for me, something like Toon Blaster, boulder's not
Yeah.
working. Pow, I'm out. Like I'm immediately like, or if you're sat at Colossus and ops are quite bad, and then you're sat at the brake run for like 2 minutes, that for me ruins it. My adrenaline's gone, and I'm like, what the fuck is he doing?
I, I, God, can I name 3 things I've come up with that if that's all right with you?
Oh, by all means, fire away.
So my first one is let's say you're going on Hyperia. You're waiting behind the air gates and there's just people chin wagging and not listening to the ride hosts. For me that sort of drags my adrenaline rush down a bit. Not because the ride host is doing anything bad, because people are just not listening. You're going in a themed queue line and you've got really good immersion, and then all of a sudden you see that one piece of theming and it's just cheap and tacky. For example, Portland's Park does a very good theming with a ghostly manner, but then I saw a cardboard piece. I'm like, I'm surprised they did this for such a good theme park, arguably the best one in the UK. I'm like, come on, it's a very good attraction though. Queue jumping, to be fair, like especially if like they say on a tunnel or whatever the announcement, and then the ride can go down just for even longer, just because people can't follow a simple rule.
General guest behaviour, I think, certainly plays a part towards operations. I think if we look at even the likes of Portaventura, are the ops likely to be better if guests could behave themselves? Probably.
I was on Hyperia with Rico Coaster. We got to the dive stall and we were about to dive down, and an AirPod hit my mate in the back of the head.
That certainly breaks the immersion a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Blunt trauma.
Yeah, exactly. Quite surprising indeed, especially as that it felt proper, like right here in the back of his head as well. It's not good.
Christ. What is a queue line or pre-show that makes the wait worth it?
Oh, that is a good one. Do you know what? I know I'm going on about Efteling, probably Dance MacArthur. It's sort of just, even if you're not English and you can't understand the attraction, it's immersed really well. It sort of builds that hype up nicely, and then you get inside the dark, inside the queue line overall. And they have signage as well. Signage is one of the biggest parts of that as well, to be fair. And then the other thing is that you get that adrenaline going. It's sort of just, you're holding there, and then you sit down in your seat and it just gets it going. That's what you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. You want a pre-show that kind of like builds into the kind of intensity rather than peaks, or does the opposite and almost like puts you to sleep before you get on.
Yeah, exactly. There's certain with a pre-show, you have to have a simple understanding. For example, I don't. Let's say you're at a foreign theme park. I don't mind it being in a foreign language, but if a pre-show isn't going to have a good sort of storyline, for me, it's a bad
Hmm.
pre-show, and it can ruin the ride experience. Villa Volta is a perfect example of that. The Madhouse is fantastic, but over the pre-show ruins it because you can't understand the immersion of it at all. The storyline doesn't make sense.
How do you feel about, for instance, Disneyland Paris? So I was going to say Rock and Roller Coaster, but I actually mean Avengers Flight Force. They have a bit of a pre-show where you get the remotely impressive Iron Man animatronic. He speaks in French while the AI speaks in English. And then I think if you go on like the web adventure, Tom Holland speaks in French and it's like a combination of the two. Do you think that we should almost try to align like all of the languages together for the sake of immersion and say, right, well, we should just have them all as like English rather than, or all as foreign rather than having one character as English and one as like foreign, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. It's in one language because if you have multiple languages in something, even though you put it understand your language being spoken, it can be sort of that confusing because one minute you
Hmm.
could be listening to a bit of French, then a bit of English, and then you're going to get confused. But like, what's this about? I don't have a clue.
Definitely. It's like when you're trying to
Yeah,
watch something in subtitles and then you look down for a few seconds, you look up and you go,
yeah,
what have I just missed?
yeah. That's why I can never watch a film in subtitles. The thing with me, I need one thing to focus on.
With you. Makes sense. Makes sense. Right, Sam, you've done fantastically on the main questions. Are you ready for the quick fire?
Yeah, I am.
Ready? I'm just going to make the right. Here we go. What is the best vibe that you felt in a park, and which park was it?
It was Chessington and Vampire. You got the smells, the immersion, just giving you that sort of great vibe.
Love it. One ride you could do back to back all day.
Voltron. It's just so re-rideable, even though it is the same every time.
One park that feels easy to enjoy.
Fort Park, because the operations. I'm a Fort Park laser now, the best in the UK. It's just you can just keep lapping the attractions.
Front row or back row.
It's always got to be back. You want more airtime and whippiness.
Morning rides, night rides.
Oh, it's got to be a night ride. The night ride's different because it's more rare, whereas with a morning ride, it's way more common.
And I'm going to throw a bonus one at the end here. Cold ride or hot ride? Would you rather be riding Falcon's Flight in the middle of the desert, or would you rather be riding Baron mid-October?
I would rather ride a roller coaster in hot conditions because when I did a Wicker Man VIP, the coaster runs faster from what I've been told.
That's an excellent answer. Love that. Great. Well, that was a super smooth quick fire round. On to the show and tell. A fine opportunity for you to present a piece of an item or merch that you're particularly proud of, if you have it.
This here is Voltron code.
The spin.
Yes, we have the spin for this Voltron code. We will lift this up. Yeah, it's
Fantastic.
probably one of the best theme park pieces of merch. Yes, it may cost about 100 odd euros to buy, but I'm glad it's worth my value and time. It's just essentially like a coat, really, really good material and overall fantastic experience. Really comfy to wear.
That looks really good. Tell me the story of the item. When did you buy it, and kind of how did it all come about?
For my birthday last year, I showed my dad a POV of Voltron. I was like, I want to do this, and then we flew up there. Somehow we flew. We had 3 hours of trains from Skupsgard, which was not fun. But overall, we got there. Got to the coaster. It was what I don't really. I normally take a few rides to ride it as my number one. We rode Voltron back row for the first time. I was like, this is number one already. And like, it just had that adrenaline just click straight away. It was such a good coaster. You got the hang time, the air time, the queue, the immersion, the 3 minutes length, everything, and it was smooth. I wanted to buy the merch. I was like, oh, I've got to get a bit of merch. I'm not going to be here for a while, so thought buying some merch and found that.
I love that. One of the last questions I have for you. What is one thing that you are absolutely categorically doing at a theme park every single time that you visit?
Probably just getting that adrenaline rush back and just you're going on your favourite ride every time you go to a theme park, or just you've never been there. It's just the expectation every time you come. You got the music; it just builds the attention up, and you get on the ride. It just comes back every single time you go to the theme park. It's just an amazing feeling.
Mm. Yeah, it is. I think it's the same reason why we all go, isn't it? It's like
exactly.
There's a level of dopamine that we're all chasing, like drug addicts, and nothing else will do.
Exactly. It's like a alcoholic with alcohol, but for enthusiasts, it's roller coasters.
Definitely. So, I mean, you've got loads of stuff, obviously, in the pipeline. Then, presumably, it's going to be focused on the UK with Evictus.
Yes,
you're going to go to Evictus.
Yes, I like gyro swings, but I did Cyculator at Portons Park, and as a small person, I recommend stretching your legs before you do it, because I have to physically jump into it. I nearly had to have a step ladder trying to go onto the attraction, which was quite funny, to be fair. Yeah, Victor should be amazing. I have heard from people that it doesn't go upside down, but necessarily give Evictus a try. It's a very good investment for Pleasure Beach and first of its type, that size in the UK.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. Well, Sam, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure having you on Q Times.